Welcome to Two Open Doors, the podcast that explores our power to open or close the doors of relationship with the important people in our lives. We hope you'll learn from and share your wisdom with our community. Thanks for joining us. It's hard to believe that the Two Open Doors podcast has reached its 30th episode. This feels like an appropriate time to take stock on how we're doing at building the envisioned Two Open Doors community. Since September of 2021, the Two Open Doors podcast has featured a new episode each Sunday. That's available on 5 podcast directories: Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. Excerpts from each episode have been shared on the private Two Open Doors Facebook group, and some have been cross-posted on the private Empowered Pleasure Facebook group. There's a Two Open Doors website at twoopendoors.com, where events can be scheduled, a community forum is available, and podcast episodes are also posted. Finally, the Two Open Doors meetup group has been created to host events in the Portland, Oregon area and online. Membership has slowly increased on these various sites, though to date it remains in the double-digit range. Two Open Doors hasn't been actively marketed since it's intended to be a grassroots community rather than a commercial enterprise. It is dependent on members spreading the word, and that apparently hasn't yet been happening reliably. Similarly, the Two Open Doors podcast is slowly growing in popularity, having recently passed the 300 download mark. Our recent full-length interview with Dr. Patty Britton, the mother of sex coaching, proved to be especially popular. We'll be doing more guest interviews like that in future. At the end of each podcast episode and blog posting, I've invited readers and listeners to contribute to our community by providing questions or comments that we can all see and respond to. I've also invited community members to contact me directly at claude@twoopendoors.com with any private communications they may have. Thus far, though, this participation hasn't happened. Let's take stock of what's going on. My hope for Two Open Doors is that it become a vibrant and valued community for its members. This goal seems especially germane given the social isolation that has occurred due to COVID. Many, or most of us, are feeling the suffocation of confinement, and we're missing the ability to connect deeply in person with one another. Of course, no online resource, including the Two Open Doors sites, can substitute for that. Still, it would seem useful to have means such as these to stay in touch with each other as much as possible. Now, as it appears that the COVID threat is lightening, the Two Open Doors meetup group and the Empowered Pleasure community will offer opportunities for Two Open Doors members to explore deep connections together in person. As someone who believes deeply in the ability of Two Open Doors to bring people together, I invest substantial time and energy in creating and maintaining the various Two Open Doors resources. I, of course, can't successfully do this just by myself. I rely on the good ideas, requests, and participation of other community members to keep making progress. I'd like to take this opportunity to solicit feedback and suggestions as to what I might do to better serve the community. If you're aware of content or quality issues with any of this material, I'd love to hear from you so that I know where to focus my attention. If you have ideas for what deep connected related topics you'd like to hear more about, please let me know. I'll do what I can to address those. If you'd like to see a different format for the podcasts or for my posts, such as having more guest interviews or having live Q&A, I'd like to know that. Your kind comments and your wish list will give me the guidance I need in order to make Two Open Doors more relevant and useful to you. Let's consider the Two Open Doors vision. While Two Open Doors offers lots of material that could be considered educational, that's not the main focus of my vision for this group. Instead, I'd love to see the group become an active forum for those who value deep human connection to discuss and explore how to build more such connections into their lives. This includes discussions, but it also includes in-person interactions that range from interesting seminars and workshops to the sort of rich one-on-one relationships that can occur when groups of interesting and substantial people spend time together. I find it painful to see how much isolation and quiet psychic suffering there is in our society. Two Open Doors was conceived as an attempt to try to reduce that suffering by helping people come together to share the richness they have to offer each other. A full and satisfying human life has dimensions that span the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual facets of life. Two Open Doors supports the connection of people on all of these dimensions. Considering our goals and plans and looking to the immediate future, the Two Open Doors Meetup Group is about to hold its first meeting. We'll use that meeting to gather and prioritize topics for discussion and to queue up seminars and workshops. We will also set a schedule for ongoing regular meetings. Having a vital and relevant community requires this sort of planning, as well as regular, predictable event offerings. As a sex-positive community, Two Open Doors is also seeking cooperation and collaboration with other local groups, such as the Empowered Pleasure Meetup and Sex Positive Portland. In particular, Two Open Doors has already presented some well-received events through Empowered Pleasure. That community provides a welcoming, safe, and well-managed environment in which to explore the sometimes challenging topics that Two Open Doors is addressing. A compelling new multi-part event series on personality and deep relationship compatibility is currently under development and will likely be offered through both Empowered Pleasure Meetup and the Two Open Doors Meetup. If there is interest and support, the Two Open Doors seminars and workshops will also be offered through Sex Positive Portland. Social events, including touch events, are an important part of the Two Open Doors vision. The group is intended to become a safe and respectful space in which members can meet and get to know each other. It isn't intended as a dating site, though it's quite possible that some of the connections made through the group will blossom into close personal relationships. After all, Two Open Doors is all about relationships, and meaningful deep connections are what our members value. Over time, my hope and intent is that this group will be able to offer extended experiential workshops and even retreats in exotic and soulful places. Getting to know someone deeply takes time, high-quality time, undistracted by the routines of daily life, and conducted in an environment that is conducive to deep dives into personal exploration. Those who have had the good fortune of participating in the events offered by the Human Awareness Institute, or HI, will resonate with this aspiration. Like HI, Two Open Doors is designed to allow participants to deeply explore themselves and their connection with their fellow relationauts. The result of such immersive experiences can be truly life-transforming, and that's what Two Open Doors aspires to offer. If the preceding vision appeals to you, and if you'd like to see it realized, I earnestly solicit your help. Materializing such a vision is not the work of any one person. Rather, it requires the interest and participation of many passionate people. With the involvement of such people, no one person has to carry an inordinate load, so the journey becomes both enjoyable and sustainable. Having the involvement of a large group of people also ensures that the group pursues a broad vision rather than one narrow personal perspective. We're able to learn from each other, sharing our communal wisdom and experiences. Leadership of the group can become more fluid and responsive. If the members of the group are caring individuals, as is the intention for Two Open Doors, each member can benefit from the support of the entire group. While this may seem like an idealistic or even utopian vision, I believe it to be quite realizable. I believe that we have the capacity to create an oasis from the superficial existence of normal daily life in our society. Succeeding in this enterprise could well provide a much-needed alternative model for how to live a satisfying life of deep connections. If you haven't already done so, please consider joining and participating in the various Two Open Doors forums. First and foremost, please help spread the word that these various forums exist. Let your voice be heard through comments and suggestions to help ensure a healthy dialogue that all benefit from. Participate in the events that are being offered to put yourself into the mix from which all participants benefit. Let yourself feel the power that you are capable of exerting to make our society a more friendly and growth-promoting place. Finally, dare to let yourself believe that you can make a positive difference in the lives you touch, and have the courage to dive deep into yourself and into the world of human connection. You'll be glad you did, and so will the entire Two Open Doors community. To learn more about Two Open Doors and to engage with our community, I'd like to invite you to visit the Two Open Doors private Facebook group, the Two Open Doors Meetup group, and the Two Open Doors website and blog at twoopendoors.com. I also invite you to contact me directly by writing to me at Claude, C-L-A-U-D-E, at twoopendoors.com. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll use your inputs to guide my work on future blog posts and podcast episodes. Thanks for visiting Two Open Doors.